Here's another example where we do have common denominators, but you got to make sure you take care of this minus right here. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to a plus. I'm going to distribute that up here, so it's going to be a negative 5x and a positive 6. Remember, this minus affects both of those guys in the numerator. You can either affect the numerator or denominator, but not both. So if you just did a minus 5x and you didn't change the 6 as well, guess what? You're wrong. So it's going to give me x squared minus 5x, because those guys are not like terms, are they? And this is all over x squared minus 8x plus 12. Am I going to leave it like this? Or maybe I can cancel out these x squares? Why would I not cancel out the x squares?
Because they're not factors.
They're not common factors. Because it's not x squared times the rest of the problem. So I need to factor this. How do I factor that numerator?
X minus 2.
X minus 2 and
X minus 3.
x minus 3. How about that denominator?
X minus 6.
X minus 6 and
X minus 2.
x minus 2. Now that everything is factored for me, what will I do? How can I reduce this? By canceling those common factors of x minus 2, since it's written as multiplication. And so my final answer is just x minus 3 over x minus 6.
So they'll have to be in parentheses for the answer?
It does not need to be in parentheses because there's nothing else being done to the x minus 3 or the x minus 6. It's just there in the numerator and there in the
But
denominator.
if it is, won't be wrong?
No, it won't be wrong if you leave the parentheses, but you're just not really going to see that. Now, I want to caution you about something here. A lot of students may try to reduce the x's or reduce the 3 and the 6. They say, oh, Mr. Craig, if I had this, I could reduce 3 over 6. I'm like, well, that's true because those would be the only terms in the numerator and denominator. But you've got these x's as well. So in terms of factors, there's nothing common here.
What if I got x plus 1 and x minus 2 by doing x plus 1 on top and x minus 6?
There's only one way to factor the numerator. It's going to be x minus 2, x minus 3. If you do not distribute and you put a minus 6 here, that will factor, but it factors differently and it factors incorrectly than the way it's supposed to. It should be a plus 6, and this is the only factorization that you can get from that. Now, I want you to compare this to having this. If I were to write negative 3x over negative 6x, could I reduce that expression? Yes, I could, because this is now in terms of multiplication. And if I were to write this out, this really means negative 1 times 3 times x over negative 1. 6 breaks down as 2 times 3 times x. So you can see here, I've got a common factor of x. I have a common factor of 3. And I have a common factor of negative 1. So what's negative 1 over negative 1? 1. What's 3 over 3? 1. What's x over x? 1, provided that x does not equal 0. So what do you have left in the numerator? 1. What's in the denominator?
2.
So you have to make sure you understand the difference between the multiplication that's understood here and the subtraction that you see here.